We are going to set up our desktop. So one of the things we want to do is look at our doc down here, and does it look like your formative sheet? Okay, does it have all the programs that you need here? Do you have extra ones that you don't need? Like I don't need calculator. So if I don't need it, you can click and drag up and then until it says remove, and you can let go and you can get rid of something on your dock. But what if you're missing something like we do have Premiere and After Effects, but what if there are some other ones that you need down here? There's two ways to get to applications. You could either go to your hard drive, go to applications, and then you can see all the applications. So maybe you wanted to animate, so you can double click on the animate folder, and then you'll see the icon in there, and you can click and drag it onto your desktop. So that's how you add it. You even have the option to right click and say I want to keep this to remove it from my dock, or I want to actually open it when I log in. So maybe there's some things that you actually want to launch when you're opening it. You could also get to applications if you have Finder selected, and then you go to Go, then you can also find applications here. And here are all the applications. So there's several ways to get to a lot of things. So you want to make sure that your applications menu matches the one on your worksheet to make sure that you can get to all these applications when you need them. Okay. Another thing you need to do here, again, you need to make sure that you've selected the desktop, or you've selected Finder over here. And up here, you're going to go to Finder and then Preferences. You want to make sure that your hard disk, external disk, all these are checked off. You want to make sure that these are checked off so that if you put in your SD card of your video camera, you put in a jump drive, a USB drive, flash drive, you put that in, that it actually shows up. And then it's also showing us our hard drive so we can access those things. So also connected servers so that you can get your information off. So you can see it on your desktop while you have that. Another thing that we want to do is check for our Chrome. So make sure that Google Chrome's down here. Make sure it's downloaded to your computer, it's added. We want to make sure that our settings in Chrome, I'm going to double click Chrome, and now you're going to see that I can see the menu up here. A big change is if I select the backdrop, now I'm in Finder. If I select Chrome, we now see the menus different. So that's a huge difference between Windows. Another big thing between PC and Mac is we have, the windows of a PC automatically take up the whole space like this, right? When you open up an application on a PC versus a Mac has a smaller one. And we can take over the window with the whole screen. We can minimize it down here. It goes down here. Or we can actually just close it out, which would completely close out the window, but we'll still have the application up here. So in Chrome, I want to go to Chrome and Preferences, and then I want to go all the way down to Advanced. And I want to go to the way bottom and look for autofill. I went too far. So autofill, and I want to go to my autofill settings, and I want to make sure that my autofilling settings is turned off. Okay, we don't want it to autofill, like populate with passwords or information. We don't want that set because this isn't your personal computer. We don't want it to save and autofill information. Okay, you're gonna go back out and you're gonna go back to manage passwords. Okay, if there's any saved passwords, you want to delete them, and you don't want to actually save passwords. So you would turn this off. I'm leaving this on because it's my personal computer. And you also don't want to say auto sign in. You want to turn those things off so that it's not saving your personal username and password, and it's not auto-filling with those information, because you don't want anybody to get into your stuff. You don't want to save that information. It's about being a good digital citizen. All right. So then we're going to go back, and you want to go to clear browsing data right here, and you want to just say that you want all these things checked off and you want to clear that data. So that means that you're not saving anybody's passwords, you're not saving any download history. That just means and that this is all gotten rid of so that you don't accidentally log into somebody's and that you're not saving your password. So that's just about being safe. Okay, so we've set up Chrome, we've set up our desktop. Okay, now you might have a bunch of crap on your desktop and you want to clean that up. So like this shouldn't be here. So you just want to click and drag it to the trash. So the only thing that should be on your desktop is if somebody has a folder, first name, last name, and then it might say design or photo or video, then you should leave those there. Be a nice person. But if you have all this stuff all over the desktop, you just need to click and drag that into the trash and get rid of it. You shouldn't be in the practice of leaving stuff on your desktop. You should be backing it up. So if somebody does delete something, it shouldn't be a big deal because you should be backing up your stuff all the time. Okay, at this time, we are going to make a new folder on the desktop. So I'm going to right click and say new folder, and you're going to name it your first name, last name, and call it video, and then 1819 for the 2018-2019 school year. Notice that I didn't use any spaces and I didn't use any special characters, otherwise you might corrupt the file. Okay. Now, in this class, we will be working off the desktop, which means that you'll be making Premiere Pro files and saving them into scratch disks, which are folders inside this desktop folder, and you're going to be working from the desktop, meaning you'll make a Premiere Pro file and it will save into this folder, and then you'll go back to your desktop and you'll work from there. Okay, you will work from the desktop, but you always have to back it up on Google Drive. All right, you might have like server options and stuff like that, and you never want to work off your USB drive or your server. Otherwise, you're going through a network, and that would slow down your editing. Okay, now your desktop should be complete. Okay, so the last step of this video, this process, is that you want to take what's called a screenshot. You created your folder, you're ready to start making your scratch disk, you set up your desktop, you cleaned up your desktop. Okay, so now it's all ready. I should see your hard drive because you went to Finder and set that all up. So now I want to take evidence that I've set up everything. So to do that, I'm going to do what's called a screenshot, and I'm going to do a full screenshot. To take a screenshot, you are going to hold down on your keyboard the Shift button, the Command button, and the number 3. Okay, when I do that together, you'll hear this little shutter button, and after that you'll see a picture of my screen. Okay, so it took a picture of the entire screen and it's showing me she set up her dock in the correct way, except yours doesn't look like this. Yours should look, mine isn't precise. I didn't put everything in there. It should show my folder. It should show that my desktop's cleaned up. It shows that you did everything. Okay, now you want to rename this file. So I'm going to right click this screenshot and say rename. And you're going to name it like everything else in this class. And everything you're going to name with your first and last name, underscore, then what the project is. So this project was called a screenshot. And then you're going to do the date. So today's this date for me. And that's it. So always first and last name, notice no space between, underscore, then the name of the project, and then the date. Okay. And then now we have a file that's correctly named. I know whose it is, I know what project it is, and I know what date it was created. So you always want to save it with that date so you know when it was created, when it was modified, and then I'm going to put that into my new folder that I created. And that's the end of this video.